guys, welcome to this week's AMA. We're super excited to give you all updates on Blüm Finance and where we are in getting ready for launch, which is rapidly approaching, just 10 days time on the 15th of May. So as you'd expect, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. So we're going to step through exactly what has been happening. We're also excitingly going to show you our video that'll be on the website that is geared towards helping people understand what we're all about at Blüm. We'll also spend a bit of time just recapping what Blüm means for the ecosystem as a whole and for existing holders of our tokens and some of the major upside opportunity there is there. And also, as you'd expect, we'll talk marketing. And finally, we're going to wrap up with something pretty cool that Aaron has been deploying in terms of the V3 contracts, a fork of Uniswap for BombChain. So Aaron's the guru on that. I'll save that to him. But any questions you guys have as we go, please just ask. We'll stop along the way and cover those. Likewise, questions, or just to be clear, any comments, questions, you're more than welcome. Just ask as ever. Nothing is off the cards. So Aaron, let's kick off without further ado and just talk Blüm Finance, what's been going on behind the scenes.
Yep. Well, welcome to the stream, everyone. We're really excited for Blüm launch coming up on the 15th. It's a really exciting introductory bonus that we have for all the new stakers. So we think that's really going to do a great job generating leads for us and converting those leads into staking customers. So really excited for that. Contracts are really great. They're bulletproof for Blüm. There was some logic that had to be redone in terms of the initial bonus and unlocking that, but that's already taken care of, and end-to-end testing's been done. So everything's looking great for that. And yeah, it's just pretty amazing just to have a new user just be able to come and just be able to get a free position and see it grow right in the wallet, and it kind of acts and behaves exactly like a position that you actually staked crypto for, but just you have to obviously stake again to actually withdraw and claim your bonus position. But it's a great introductory offer that I think it's going to do really well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's going to be super powerful to gain traction. And apologies, by the way, I see my internet connection's a tiny bit spotty. So sorry if I drop out a bit. But I was just going to say, Aaron, do you mind just doing a bit of a recap for those that maybe haven't been as familiar with it, what the deposit bonus is, how does it work, how much can you actually get, etc.?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start from the very beginning of like how we even came up with this idea, and then I'll explain, in detail what it's about. So the first thing was, going back to some of my experience in the past with generating leads and marketing online. I know that generating that lead is it's critical, especially if we're going to be doing paid ads and things of that nature. So basically, we needed a way to really get them to give us their email address, to get them to give us their contact information, basically. So a really strong way to do that is learn how you can get $1,000 free position to get started. Something along those lines. So it's a really strong way to get them to kind of just with no risk to them, they can kind of just get involved and see, really check out crypto and see what it's like to have a position and have it be earning interest. So essentially what we're doing is on all 5 cryptos that we're going to launch out of the gate, and for cryptos that we're going to launch in the future, we're going to let people get up to $1,000 position in that crypto with no requirements, essentially. So they can just come, they can create a wallet, they can connect with their existing wallet, and they basically can just pick what asset they want and they can get this position. And it's a staking position that's locked for 6 months. Now, the way that this works is for them to actually be able to withdraw that stake position, they're going to have to deposit staking positions equal to 10 times that free position within the first 3 months. So they'll have to, for example, if they took $1,000 of Bitcoin as a staking position, that'll start earning for them right from whenever they actually get that position. But what's going to happen is they're not going to be able to withdraw that position unless they've made deposits equal to 10 times that in that first 3 months. So the smart contract just tracks that. It basically just, whenever you make a deposit, it checks if you have an introductory bonus. And if you do, it's basically just keeps a running tally of how much you've deposited towards that, if it's within that time frame that, you're allowed to basically deposit to claim towards the bonus.
Mm-hmm.
not sure how well I explained that, but
Well, I think it was a great explanation. The only thing I was just going to clarify, for the avoidance of doubt, is not the case that you're just deposit 10 times the amount. You actually have to stake that amount, because
yeah,
otherwise subject people gaming the system and just depositing it and immediately withdrawing it. But no, I thought it was a really good explanation.
The huge benefit that we're going to see from this is the fact that we're going to have email addresses. So in order to get this, you need to actually supply your email address for the account. And that's something that traditionally in DeFi is really difficult to do, to actually be able to communicate with your potential customers. So even if somebody gives us their email address, they don't select the position, we can follow up with them and continue to offer them free stake position. Or if they give us their email address and provide the stake, or pick their stake position, we can continue to follow up and give them additional steps to take.
What's interesting is, I know you mentioned that in DeFi typically protocols don't get email addresses, which is definitely true. But I've actually noticed that somewhat changing lately. Like a couple of different protocols, like Anchor actually being the big one that I can think of off the top of my head. But now when I go to log into Anchor to manage like our premium RPC, they don't have an email address for me. So it's actually bugging me for an email address every time now. So that's something that I never saw in the past, right? And I think there's a couple other places I've seen that as well, but that's the one that really comes to mind.
Well, it's a powerful tool to be able to communicate with your investors. That's going to be a game changer.
Or in Anchor's case, right? Like, because I'm using their premium we're using their premium RPC services. So with our email, they can then tell us like if our credits are running low, or like there's a lot of different like even transactional details that are beneficial to send out. That prior to Web3, you could always send your customer an email. That's like your main point of contact with the customer would be the email address. But with DeFi, you have a wallet address, so it's something where if you have to send transactional information, you kind of just need to get that email address.
Yeah. And I know we've said this before, but just as a reminder for everyone watching, it is the case that providing an email address is optional, right? So if people want to maintain anonymity, they absolutely can, but it's just to gain the staking bonus, then you do need to provide an email address.
Yeah, I should have clarified that. Yeah, good.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, so look, all this information like related to the email and any additional potential profile information we might have will definitely always be optional. But yeah, that is a requirement to get the free position. So.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So yeah, Marcus, do you want to talk just a bit about the marketing plan ahead of launch, and then we can maybe get on to the video as it's looking at the moment?
Yeah, that'd be great. So we've got a ton planned for marketing, and as we've been saying, we're going to be taking a bit of a different route towards the marketing approach than most DeFi protocols have. So you'll see everything that we've got here. You'll see the website. We're going to show you a sneak peek of like some of the videos, the vibe that we're going to have. It's all geared towards a more traditional finance audience. We're straying away from that whole crypto bro theme of 1000x your crypto in the next week, those kind of things. We're really focusing on that traditional finance audience. So we're going to have targeted paid ads for two groups. So the first group is going to be the TradFi audience, and targeting people that are interested in finance or investing in stocks, things like that. And those ads are going to be specific on introducing them to crypto, getting started now, getting a free stake position. Those are the kind of ads we're going to be focused on, people that are already investing and like stocks and things like that, but not necessarily thinking about crypto. So that's some of the targeted paid ads we're going to do. At the same time, though, and like everyone was saying, you can still have your anonymity and use Blüm. We are actually going to do targeted paid ads for crypto users, but those are going to be more focused on you can earn high yields on your crypto. So we'll still be targeting those folks, but it'll be kind of a different ad campaign. And then another part of the marketing is going to be, as we're saying, we've got the email addresses. We're going to be doing email marketing. That's going to be a huge part of it. So anybody that comes to the site, we have a whole email campaign that we can continue to show them. Here's how you're going to use Blüm. Here's how you get your stake position, and not just Blüm related, but we're also going to be sending them crypto informational series. So videos on why would you even want to get into Bitcoin? And then once you've got that, say, well, if you do want to get into Bitcoin, you can do it with Blüm, and you can earn I don't know what the amount is on Bitcoin, but somewhere around 20%. So another segment we're going to be doing is targeting influencers. And when we say influencers, usually in DeFi, you're thinking the crypto guys that are just shilling whatever project comes and gives them some money to shill things. But that's definitely not the way we want to go with Blüm. We want to do more of like the traditional Instagram influencers, for example, or TikTok influencers talking, parenting, fashion, home decor, segments like that traditionally don't have that crypto audience. And so it's going to be really different messaging, marketing towards like an introductory to crypto. That's like our main focus is going to be introducing a new audience to crypto. And on that side, we're also going to have, we did a survey a while back that we actually wanted to release with the Ball Money app. But obviously our plans got a bit derailed with Apple. But now with Blüm, we're going to repurpose the survey. And it's really going to be a powerful piece of media that we're going to use, because it's going to be showing the different demographics. This is all the stuff that we got in the survey, different demographics and current knowledge of crypto, current investment in crypto, and different types of investments. And it's going to show that there's certain demographics of people that, in like age groups, gender, that don't have any crypto knowledge or have any crypto investment, right? And so we're just going to be discussing why is that, and is there a way to start teaching these people how to get into crypto? So that's going to be a really powerful tool, and I think media is actually going to be very interested in the findings from that survey. And then additionally, we've got our joint press release with Anchor that we've kind of had on the back burner for a while, but once we've got everything launched, we can use the power of Anchor and their popularity and brand name to tie in with the Blüm launch as well. So, I mean, you can see we've got a ton of things going on with marketing. And with that, as we were saying with the new audience, maybe Aaron, you can show just kind of the vibe of the website first, and then you'll see the video that we're working on. It's not done, but you'll get a vibe for what the intro to crypto we're talking about is.
Yeah, and for the website, we're just going for a really clean look, and something that's going to help establish trust and confidence, and I think we're doing quite well. Any other aspect of the website you want me to show, or just go right into the video?
Yeah, I'll show the video. This is going to be right. Basically, as you scroll down, the first thing you see, we're going to have this intro video, and we can also chop it up and have it on, on YouTube, TikTok, different places, just to intro.
So I apologize. I don't think you guys are going to hear the audio. Actually, let me reshare it so that I can do that. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I did see if I share a tab, I can share audio. There we go. All right, fingers crossed.
Let's go.
Welcome to the world of decentralized finance and the future of money. At Blüm Finance, we're revolutionizing the way people buy, store, and grow their cryptocurrency. With just a few clicks, Blüm helps you create your very own digital wallet and lets you earn high interest on the most popular cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more, all with no hidden fees or commissions. The easy-to-use platform is designed for both experienced and new users alike, so anyone can get started quickly and safely. Plus, you don't need to know anything about coding or blockchain technology to start earning returns on your investments. You can rest easy knowing that everything is secured by our very own public blockchain, providing total transparency into every transaction, giving you peace of mind when making deposits or withdrawals. So why wait? Take control of your financial future and join the decentralized finance revolution today with Blüm Finance. Provide your email below to learn how to get up to $1,000 in a free staking position and get started today.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah, so you can see it's a very welcoming vibe. Trying to really show that you don't need to have an in-depth knowledge of crypto to get started. And then that is going to lead people to give the email address. And as soon as we've got the email address, we can start with our email campaign, obviously, teaching why crypto, how to get started. Some feedback. So,
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting that video out there.
Awesome video, guys. Great work. Thank you very much, Captain Hindsight.
Yeah, video is super impressive.
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
really liking it.
And I was just going to say, Marcus, on the point you were making ahead of this around, educating new users, and people who wouldn't typically be thinking about crypto, at least not naturally. I mean, the reality is, I think most people watching this video will know that, crypto market is fairly cyclical. And, this year, the year before the halving for Bitcoin is typically, the year to accumulate. But of course, what will normally happen for retail investors, people that are new to the market, is they'll come in at the absolute peak of the bull market, behind the top, and then end up, actually lose money and be burned, and half of them won't stick around for the next bull run where it's actually their chance to make money. So I think, this year is a great year to be launching Blüm, because it helps provide the opportunity for people who have, an interest on some level to get in now. I can't say with 100% it will be a great time, but based on, prior market cycles, it would suggest, that there's a very good side of long-term upside in the crypto market in general from next year onwards.
Couldn't agree more, sir.
Yeah, so no, awesome, exciting times, and love the video. If anyone, by the way, was eagle-eyed and spotted a Dogecoin logo slipping in there, we're not supporting Dogecoin at the moment. There's a couple of tweaks that need to be made, and I think, did I spot an XRP one there as well?
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a template
example.
of course, but yeah, it's going to be that was the first iteration. We just got that this morning, so.
Yeah, totally.
Before launch, we're gonna have everything perfected, obviously.
And I'm really excited about the email campaigns, though. There's just so many different ways we can iterate that on that, and just improve things, and just any aspect of it that's not working exactly as we expect or hope, we can tweak it, and we could try different ads in the future with separate email campaigns, even once just to try different things out in the future. So it's a lot that we can do to really finesse that and ensure it's working well.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think the entire end-to-end journey has really been optimized to maximize conversion. But also, actually, we've got the referral program as well to incentivize.
I was just going to bring that up.
Refer friends and family too. I think if we do a great job with the overall proposition, getting people excited with the opportunity for a referral bonus, they of course like what we're doing in terms of, the general experience within the app, which I'm sure they will, then, why wouldn't they recommend us to friends and family, particularly if there's upside for both of them in the form of a referral bonus as well. So yeah, that's definitely a component that's going to help us along the way too.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of the first things I learned about when I was learning about the email marketing is, once you've got that customer, to have a nurture campaign or something, that you give to, your existing customers is really beneficial. And, a big part of that is if they're happy, that you want to ask for referrals and get them to start telling people about us. So,
yeah, 100%. Cool. Okay. Have you guys got anything else Blüm related you wanted to talk about? And just a reminder for anyone that's with us live, do feel free to ask any questions or just throw any comments in. And if you're watching back on the recording, then swing by Discord, Telegram, and just ask us anything you want to know.
Yeah, I would just say the title of our show today, how to maximize profits ahead of the Blüm Finance launch. So we've spent a few minutes now just giving an overview of Blüm and how we plan to make it very successful. And that's going to happen in 10 days. 10 days from now, we're launching Blüm. So Aaron, maybe just give a quick overview of some of the ways that people can really take advantage of these next 10 days and in anticipation of all the inflows of what we're going to do. And what does Blüm actually do for the ecosystem?
Good shout. So essentially, Blüm is going to be our main driver of inflows from not directly from our DeFi users, right? So Blüm is going to drive inflows to all of our seniority protocols. So we're talking BitBomb, CZ pegs, snow pegs, and poly pegs. At launch, we're going to have 5 cryptos, at least one from each of the protocols. So assuming that inflows are fairly spread out, all protocols will be receiving significant inflows, which will benefit pegs. It'll benefit share token prices. It'll benefit the peg up token price will be benefited extremely. It's really going to benefit the entire ecosystem. That's the whole reason that we've launched Blüm, is to get inflows, and largely also because we have all the underlying tools that we need to be able to generate yield for users. So it was it only made sense to launch Blüm and be able to generate those yields for the users, and at the same time make our entire ecosystem extremely healthy.
I'm most excited for like the polypegs and snow pegs of our protocols, because there's such small market cap right now that it doesn't, or TVL right now, that like minimal inflows from Blüm, which we really expect, are going to peg that within a month or within a week. Like, who knows, right?
Yeah, those share tokens are going to put Pepe to shame.
Yeah, no, 100%. We were just talking about how mad Pepe was. So yeah, if a meme coin with no value behind it can do it, then yeah, with everything we've got going on, then yeah, we're in a good shape. Cool. Alrighty. Well, shall we have a look at the V3 contracts that you've been working on, Aaron? And obviously, it's probably worth just a bit of positioning and, how this benefits the ecosystem as well. Because some of this, particularly behind the scenes stuff, is, probably over my head. So, I think a nice, easy to understand explanation would be awesome.
Let me get my screen share working real quick.
Yeah, and before we get into that, just a summary that all of this, all the Blüm stuff, the Sinraj, it's all happening on Bomb Chain. So maybe, Aaron, just a quick overview on what Bomb Chain is as well, and how that's going to help. And then you can obviously see we're continuing to build on Bomb Chain with the V3. Yeah.
So as some of you may know, Bomb Chain is our own blockchain that's launched specifically to facilitate us offering transparent staking in a decentralized way. So that's basically everything that's powering Blüm in the back end. Is instead of us being traditional Web 2 financial company where we have a database that's in our data center, we're doing everything on the blockchain. So it's publicly visible and verifiable, and especially we felt that was important with everything that happened within the last year or two in crypto, and lack of transparency leading to significant losses for a lot of people. So basically, Bomb Chain is that blockchain that's powering everything that happens with Blüm through the app. And what that's going to do is it's going to generate a lot of liquidity and assets on Bomb Chain. It's going to generate a lot of transaction volume, and that in itself is going to we're planning on having that have DeFi users come into Bomb Chain to launch their own projects. And we're just essentially we've been waiting a little bit to launch Blüm so that we can get that activity all going, and the liquidity and everything that we've been talking about for the last over 6 months. So I got a comment here.
Good question.
Explaining how does Bomb token specifically benefit from Blüm launch? So so I kind of indirectly answered that, but let me give you a more direct answer. So the Bomb token being the native currency of Bomb Chain, it's the token that's used to pay for gas. It's the token that's used to stake to secure the network. It is the core token of Bomb Chain. So essentially, the more activity on Bomb Chain, the more demand there will be for the Bomb token. Liquidity, the decentralized liquidity on Bomb Chain is for the most part all paired with Bomb. So so being paired with Bomb, that puts a huge demand on Bomb to be on the other side of the all the liquidity pools. Actually, that's a pretty good segue into talking about V3. Let's actually just jump right into that then.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Oops. There we go. So I've been playing around a little bit with Uniswap V3, and there was a question that was brought up on Discord about concentrated liquidity. So let me first give you guys a quick demo of what Uniswap V3 is and accomplishes for those who aren't familiar. Well, I guess a real quick overview. So essentially, before V3 of Uniswap, by far the most popular decentralized exchange would be like a Uniswap V2 or a Uniswap V2 fork, which is great. It's, you know, it doesn't have any issues in terms of security or anything like that, and it does work exactly as intended. But the problem with Uniswap V2, which is addressed in Uniswap V3, is essentially any liquidity that's added in order to allow people to trade on those assets, the price range is unlimited essentially. So just say like if you put, I don't know, let's say just say you launch a new liquidity pool so that people could trade your new token. If you have like, you know, $10,000 worth of your token, $10,000 worth of, I don't know, let's say BNB, those two assets, they have to cover the entire price range from 0 to infinity on both tokens. So essentially you need to start having a ton of liquidity in there in order to be able to do trades without moving the price too much. This is something that Uniswap V3 really addresses, and I'll demonstrate that real quick here. So here you can see a bunch of positions that I've made on Bomb Chain. You can see they all indicate like out of range or in range. Out of range means that I guess I got to explain that as well. So basically the way that Uniswap V3 addresses that whole issue with inefficient liquidity is with concentrated liquidity. So what that basically means is that when you provide liquidity, you say, I'm going to provide liquidity between a specific price point. So let's look at, you know, just for a really simple example that everyone would understand, let's look at BNB, right? I think it's around $350 right now. So if you were pairing BNB with, say, USDT, what you could do is you could say, you know what, I'm going to provide liquidity from a price range of, you know, $300 US to $400 US per BNB. So as long as BNB is trading in that range of $100, you're going to be, you know, earning fees on that liquidity. And instead of having an unlimited size price range that your liquidity has to cover, now you're covering a very small section of that, which basically lets your liquidity be extremely efficient. So let me show you guys an example. Might be a little bit easier. So, but going back to out of range, basically that means that the price has moved outside of whatever range I had set when I created this position, or I could have potentially even created this position already outside of the range intentionally, which you can do as well. There's also a lot of cool things that you can do with Uniswap V3 that I'll show you guys. Although if I'm getting into too much detail, just let me know and I'll shut up. So let's say Bomb BTC. So we can see right here what the price is. So this one's a little bit easier to look at in inverse. So we know the peg is, you know, 10,000 to 1. So right now the ratio on Bomb Chain is actually 478,000 to 1. So what you can do, let's just look at an example here. Let's just say, so right now 1 Bitcoin, if I was to do full range, so this is basically the same as like a Uniswap V2 pool. I'm not limiting the price at all, right? When I go full range. So 1 Bitcoin needs 478,000 Bomb. Now, one of the cool things that you can do with this is, where's that? Oh yeah, because I'm in full range, my mistake. So one thing that you could do with this, let's just say that somebody bought a lot of Bomb right now and they wanted to, you know, slowly sell that Bomb as the price went closer to peg. You could actually do that just by creating a liquidity position with the right price targets. And let me just demonstrate that right now. So we know that 10,000 Bomb per BTC is peg. So let's just go with that. That's right around 10,000. And right now we're at, you know, 478,000. So let's just go like 470,000. So with this, you can see I can't even put any Bitcoin in because whenever you input a price range that's outside of the current price, you basically can only provide the asset that is on the side that your price range is on, if that makes sense. So like if my price range was on the other side of 478,000 Bomb per Bitcoin, I'd only be able to put Bitcoin, not Bomb. A more common scenario though would be to have it cover both, right? So if this is like 500,000. But this is the cool thing here too, though. So just say, for example, you don't expect the price of Bomb to go any lower, but you expect the price of Bomb peg to pick up. What you could do is you could provide a ton of liquidity without having a lot of Bitcoin. So this is a good example here. So let's just say I have like 10,000 Bomb. You can see how little Bitcoin that requires just because I have so much more price range on the left side from the current price than I do on the right side. And you can see like if I drag this lower, oops, like 1%, you can see my Bitcoin requirement goes down and down as I decrease. Oh, it goes to 0 if I go. So, but you can see if I put this up a little bit higher, my Bitcoin requirements are going up like crazy, as you can see right here. Because like, does that make sense? Somewhat.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, that was actually super helpful for me. Maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but I'm kind of almost thinking about like almost being able to use something similar to a limit order, but for providing liquidity, right?
100%. No, that 100. That's how it was explained to me. Like when I first read about it, like it's like you can definitely 100% use this as basically a limit order. Like actually, we're just talking about Pepe. I actually saw when I was looking at Deck Screener that a lot of people actually were doing that. Probably not even team members, just guys that, maybe they bought a bunch cheap and they wanted to get out, but without, dumping the price. So they just, in that case, they would just make a liquidity position and, put the price range, from the current price to whatever their target is. And then their tokens slowly convert to Ethereum as the price moves up. Because you'll see, actually, let me just go to create a position real quick. So you can see here, this is obviously just an example pricing, but this is really key what it says right here. And I think there's a lot of ins and outs of V3 that would be a little bit advanced for someone that was brand new to DeFi. That would probably cause them to do things that they didn't really plan on doing. But so essentially, if you create a liquidity position that's in the price range, if it exits that price range, either side, you're only going to have one asset in your liquidity position. So this is explaining right here that, so this is basically bomb at peg. Well, my position is going to be 100% composed of BTC at this price. So all the bomb that I'm putting in right now, it will be Bitcoin when that price is exceeded. And the closer it gets to that price, the higher percentage of my position will be in Bitcoin. It's almost like if you look at, what is it, X times Y equals K or something? Is that I think that's the V2 price range calculator. So essentially so V2, you always have to provide liquidity for the entire price range. Whereas with V3, you're basically saying that you're doing the same thing, but you're just taking a very small chunk of that price range, whatever chunk that you decide that you want to take. So, but it works the same as V2 in that, like, once that price range is exceeded, which in V2 is infinity or 0, you basically have only one token in your pool. Well, it's the same thing with V3, but since your limits on both sides are not 0 and infinity, there's something that you define that's a lot closer to the current price. You'll end up having only one asset in your liquidity pool when the price moves. So back to the Pepe example, like, if you watch Deck Screener, you'll see there's a bunch of guys removing liquidity, and you'll see that it's only Ethereum that they're removing. So they would have put in, either both assets or just Pepe. I mean, usually when I saw the guys add, and it was both, but then they're leaving the position with just Ethereum. Right. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of guys lost a lot of money doing that because they didn't expect the price to move so much. They're probably like, oh yeah, I'll make a few extra bucks providing liquidity. And next thing you know, they provide this concentrated liquidity. Now they missed the upside on a bunch of their tokens. Right.
Yeah. Here's a question, right? And I may not have fully thought it through, but is a potential downside of this, just in general, that as a normal user who perhaps doesn't know how to effectively navigate, the blockchain, that it's more difficult to know how much liquidity you're going to have to effectively work with when exiting a position? I suppose the answer is partly no, because the reality is that, even with, your sort of typical V2 type contracts, people can withdraw liquidity at any time. But I just wonder if, having these advanced features means some of the bigger players, on Ethereum, for example, would be in and out, and you'd see more kind of volatility in the liquidity.
Yeah, that's a great question or comment you brought up. So with V2, I mean, let's remove the fact that, people could remove liquidity. Let's take that out of the equation, because that's obviously possible with either way. Yeah. With V2, there's a bit more clarity on how much liquidity is available if you were to, get out of your position, or if you wanted to buy a bunch, I guess. With V3, so Deck Screener will still show you stuff like, how much assets are in the pool. What it won't show you though is like, the breakdown of the price ranges and all of that. That's actually one of the cool things that you can kind of see on, I'm trying to think of one where I have a lot of liquidity.
Mm.
I don't think I've put too much on any of them, but maybe bomb swap bomb. Let me just see real quick here. Current price, so let's just go 1.5 to 2. Oh, okay. So I guess once there's enough of a history, a chart shows up here that kind of shows you like where the liquidity is. Actually, I think it was showing for the Bitcoin one.
Yeah. For more sophisticated traders, certainly beyond my capabilities, and those who have the capability to create bots, etc., does that not present quite a big opportunity to effectively identify where there's going to be a large change in liquidity as a result of these preset orders? I know they're not orders, but I'm going to use that term just for simplicity. Based on the assumption that there'll be sales shortly following that large withdrawal from the pool. Does that make sense?
Not fully. Like, if I understand correctly, I think I kind of look at it the other way around. Like, again, going back to like the PayPay thing, right? Like, if somebody was providing liquidity and then all of a sudden the price jumped to the point where like they have no more PayPay left, they have only Ethereum, that'd probably like then get them. They'd probably be more likely to buy because they don't have any more of the token left.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm kind of still formulating it in my mind, so ignore me. I might be asking a stupid question.
I mean, I think that this can be really dangerous for new users, just because there's quite a bit that you have to understand in order to take full advantage of it. And like, I think that once you understand the ins and outs of it, and I think it's great. It's a great tool for users, but just the complexity of it. Actually, quick funny story is when we were at the Toronto event. This is probably like, if I was going to be famous for anything that I talked about, it was probably Uniswap V3. Because when I was up on stage, we were talking about just decentralized exchanges, and I was like, yeah, Uniswap V3. It took me a couple minutes to pick up on that and exactly how that works, and they're just like staring at me like I was like a crazy person. Like, it's like, what, you picked up on Uniswap V3 in a couple minutes? But it is very complicated though, like in terms of how it works, and exactly the pros and cons of it. But it's really well designed. But again, we all know that the barrier to entry for crypto a lot of times is ease of use and understanding things. So when you take it something that's already fairly complex to new users, which would be like just decentralized liquidity and decentralized swapping and all that, and then you add this extra layer of complexity on top of price ranges.
Let's not add this to Blüm quite yet.
The reality is, we've always said that while our core target market will be those who want a simple experience, we do always want to cater towards more advanced users, and I know we've got some incredibly smart and sophisticated people in our community, so I think they'll definitely appreciate this.
So one last thing I'll demo here is so as much as like providing liquidity for V3 can be more complicated, doing actual swaps for regular users that aren't providing liquidity is actually quite advantageous. And we will at some point, I didn't really talk to anyone on the team about this yet, but I'm sure we will use something like this for bomb swap. So what I'm going to demo right now it's from Uniswap, but I think pretty much every V3 fork is using it. It's called the Smart Order Router. That's like the name of one of the tools that powers what I'm about to show you guys. So with this, what this is going to do is it's going to look at our V2 deployment. It's going to look at our V3 deployment, and it's going to break up a swap in the most advantageous way, so that, for one, the user gets the best price possible. And what it's supposed to do is leave every single pool that it touches with the token at the exact same price. So there's not any arbitrage opportunity whatsoever after that trade's done. Yeah. Because that's very
interesting.
I mean, if you think about it, that is how the prices should be left. If you're getting the very best price possible across every possible pool, well, that's going to leave the asset at the same price across all those pools. Because if it was cheaper in one, and then it should have bought more in that one, right? Or if it's more expensive in one, it should have bought less in that one. So if it does the perfect amount on every one, it should leave the price the exact same. So just to demo that real quick, and I will say that this is not working perfectly quite yet. I noticed that when you're, depending on what you input, I'll explain that in a second. basically, if I would have just put 250 bomb here, I think there's an issue with how I have this set up at this second where I don't think it's going to find the optimal route. But so now right now it's trying to go through only V3 with a 90% price impact. So as you can see, I'm only getting 1 USDT where, yeah, I mean, not a huge priority, but I will fix it. You'll see this one right away comes up with all the right stuff. So, so what you can see here is that it gives you a nice quote where it's going to, basically break my trade up into 4 different routes. 2 of them going through our Uniswap V2 deployment, which is all of our, regular bomb swap stuff, and then 2 through V3. And I wish I had a better demo to show you guys, but like I could basically demonstrate how that, with say 5% of the liquidity on V3, it could provide just as much towards this trade as, something that's 20 times bigger on V2, just because of the power of concentrated liquidity. So yeah, pretty powerful stuff.
Very cool.
I mean, also same with our USDT, USDC pool, stuff like that is so much better in V3 because it really makes no sense for a stablecoin to provide, assets among an unlimited price curve for 2 stablecoins, right? Like the price is almost always right at $1, right? So actually, again, just this actually might be an easier example for people to grasp. So maybe I'll just show this real quick. So for one, when you do stablecoins, you typically select the lowest fee, just because there's a couple of reasons for that, but I'm not going to get into it. So the price range right now is 995. So let's go like 0.99 to like 101. So with this, I mean, actually, I'm not sure how well I'll be able to actually demo how it impacts the price impact of a trade, but essentially, so actually, let's just say I'm going to put 100,000 of each token of USDC and USDT. In V2, essentially, it would a couple $1,000 trade would really throw off the price of those assets in Uniswap V2. Even with 100,000 of each stablecoin, just a $5,000 trade is going to really throw off the weightings of those two, right? So, because let's just say it's going to be 105,000 for one and then 95,000 for the other. So that's a significant difference in the price calculation for Uniswap V2, right? Like about 10% price difference. So with Uniswap V3, I could provide that same $100,000 of USDT, $100,000 of USDC, but instead of the price range being unlimited, it's only going to be a 1 cent above $1 and 1 cent below $1. So essentially, my entire $100,000 of USDT or USDC would have to be consumed before the price would even move 1 penny, right? So yeah, it's extremely advantageous for almost every pairing, but especially for stuff like stablecoins, or even just like stuff that's more volatile, right? Like I'm just going to pick something for example, but there's even a 1% tier for fees, right? So you can, as a liquidity provider, you can earn a lot more from providing liquidity without even having to like do liquidity mining with your LP token, like just actually earning through your liquidity position with 1%. It's a pretty large amount for a swap fee. But yeah, for any exotic pairs, so anything that's more volatile, just to kind of, I guess this kind of makes up for the fact that when you have to set a price limit on your liquidity position, you could easily end up losing one of the assets. So you're 100% weighted in one asset based on price movement. So the 1% of the fee can really make up for that a lot of times. And something interesting about this as well is the fees that you collect, it doesn't just put them right back into the pool like it does with V2. It actually keeps it separate for you to collect. So as an example, so here's just a really tiny pool, USDC, USDT. And you can see here, this is the fees that I've earned on this that I can just collect whenever I want. So I guess the advantage of that is like, again, just let's look at the Pepe example. If you provided a bunch of concentrated liquidity and all of a sudden it was in that range for quite a while, but then the price jumped and now it's out of your range. So now your liquidity position only has Ethereum in that case, but you'd have a whole bunch of fees waiting to be collected. That would be both assets. So so at least your fees, they wouldn't all be gone. But yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, no, that was a super useful overview. But yeah, as we say, definitely on the more advanced side. But yeah, no, excited to see that on Bomb Chain. Cool. Okay, shall we just do a summary then, I guess, on what to look out for in the next 10 days ahead of Blüm launch? And I guess final call, if anyone who's here with us live has any comments or questions, definitely do just pop those in the chat. And thank you, Michelle. Love it. Let's go bomb and Blüm. So yeah, just as a reminder, 15th is launch date for Blüm Finance, which is going to be the easiest way for folk to get into crypto. As we talked about earlier, we've got a pretty epic incentive for people to get started in the form of the staking bonus, where you can earn up to $1,000 in free crypto. So yeah, keep your eyes on our socials. We'll be doing a lot of good stuff to promote that. As Marcus said, lots of awesome stuff going on behind the scenes to partner with influencers, etc. And non-DeFi in the non-DeFi space, and yeah, the opportunities across the ecosystem we covered earlier. So give some thought to anything that you guys might want to do ahead of the launch. And yeah, anything that I've missed, guys, in terms of the summary, or just any final thoughts or comments that you want to cover?
Nothing I can think of. Just really excited to get the launch going, and really keep continuously tweaking everything, and really bring a lot of inflows in and health to the protocols. Yeah,
I'm just looking forward to P-Hub buybacks starting up and seeing that token just rocket up.
Yep.
That was an excellent Mr. Burns impression there, Simon.
Right.
Excellent.
My Peg Hub gear going.
Nice.
Yeah, representing it. I love it.
I'm gonna have to make an order for for Blüm merch. Stores up and ready.
Should I show that right now? It's all good.
Yeah, go for it. Yep.
Oh, shop.
Yeah, I've always loved our merch, but I have to say the Blüm stuff does, in my opinion, look the best.
Oh wow! I haven't seen some of these. I mean, that's not for me, but that looks pretty nice.
No. Yeah, let's show it.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh yeah, I got to get some of that.
Yep. You set all these up, Simon? Wow, we should have had you do the previous ones. You really killed it, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
Great.
Good stuff.
Did I see a denim jacket there, or did I?
It was a little tag. I do think they might offer denim jackets, but it was for a little a patch. Sorry. Actually, I got to change that logo. The patch on black looks terrible. Some of them I offered at my girlfriend's job. They actually had their logo black on black, and it actually looks kind of cool. Apparently, that's in. So some of these black logos. Yeah, it was just the name of their company in black, sewed on onto a black sweatshirt, and it
embroidered black on black.
Yeah, it's very subtle, but it looks slick. It's obviously not going to be catching eyes and good for advertisement, I guess, but it looked pretty slick. So I offered it some of the logos, the dark logo on different colored shirts, and some on white logos. They're usually like this dark logo. I specified whether it's the dark or the light logo.
Hoodie dress. That's something.
Yeah.
Michelle's gonna be picking up one of those. Maybe I'll be picking it up for her.
Yeah. Excellent job, though, Merch Master Simon. It's
thank you.
It looks like you went embroidered to wherever you could, which is definitely what I prefer. So
nice. Much more premium. Nice.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. So yeah, I guess we'll wrap up there. But no, thank you guys so much for those who are here live, and thanks to everyone that's listening back. As we always say, definitely drop by and ask any questions in Telegram or Discord if you've not had a chance while you're with us today. And keep an eye on socials ahead of launch. Good stuff. And have a lovely weekend when it comes. We'll speak to you guys soon.
See you guys.
Have a great day, guys. Have a great weekend.
You guys.